Hello and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles.
She said, "If you don't like my friend's rude jokes, you can just pay and leave." I said, "Thanks for the option." Then I stood up, took my car keys, and walked out of the restaurant. She thought I was joking, until her friend's laughter died down and they realized I had just paid for my meal. Only mine. That's right, Valerie. I may be just an electrician, but I know how to separate a tab faster than a voltage surge. I'm Jared, 29, male, and I just walked out of what was supposed to be a celebration dinner. Now I'm sitting in my car, parked a few blocks down, staring at the dashboard like it's going to explain to me what the hell just happened. My girlfriend, Valerie, 28, whip-smart, charming, ambitious, just gave me the perfect out. And buddy, I took it like it was on sale and I had a coupon. Quick rewind. Valerie and I have been together 3 years. Met at a friend's housewarming. She laughed at one of my stupid jokes about IKEA furniture, and I thought, yup, this is the woman I'll one day argue with about thermostat settings. She works as a marketing coordinator. Well, now senior marketing coordinator. Big congrats, Valerie. No sarcasm there. I was genuinely proud. Proud enough that I suggested we all go out to this nice steakhouse downtown. My treat. Even Googled classy places with cloth napkins for the occasion. Things were fine. Drinks were flowing, appetizers hitting the table. And then, cue dramatic music. Melina, 29, professional buzzkill and honorary roastmaster general. She leans in with her Chardonnay and hits me with, "So Jared, still playing with wires for a living? Must be nice having such a simple job. Not much thinking required, right?" Oh great, here we go. The Roast of Jared, starring Melina, co-starring Bella and Jocelyn, and a special guest appearance by Valerie, who I hoped would maybe, I don't know, not laugh like it was an open mic night. I smiled. The kind of smile you do when you've just stubbed your toe in public and you want people to believe you're fine. "Actually," I said, "electrical work requires quite a bit of problem solving." And oh, please, Jocelyn cut in, waving her wine glass like she was about to toast to her own smugness. "It's not like you need a degree. Val here's killing it in corporate while you're... What's that thing you do with the bikes?" I chewed my steak a little slower. I already knew where this was headed, but I gave her the answer anyway. "I restore vintage motorcycles. Just finished a 1978 Honda. How much money do you waste on those rust buckets?" Bella asked, already laughing like she'd just delivered the punchline of the century. "Right. Because God forbid someone have a hobby that doesn't involve brunch and manifesting." Then Bella turned to Valerie, tossed her hair, and said, "Valerie, girl, you could do so much better. Remember Thomas from the conference? Now he had ambition." "Ah, Thomas." I remembered Thomas. Hair gel, Bluetooth headset, calls everyone champ. I wouldn't trust him to fix a leaky faucet, let alone not cheat during a team-building trip. I looked at Valerie. She was smiling, shaking her head like they were all reenacting some classic sitcom scene. Like I was the quirky side character whose whole personality is blue-collar and fixes things. She wasn't defending me. Not even a hey, maybe tone it down. Nope, nothing. The jokes continued through dinner like it was a roast, and I was the unsuspecting guest of honor. My hobbies? Mocked. My clothes? Laughed at. Melina even said I was lucky Valerie was willing to date down. Date down. Like she was doing some kind of missionary work dating me. The final straw? Jocelyn, who was clearly feeling her third glass of wine, said, "Honestly, Val, when are you going to upgrade? Jared's sweet, but come on. You're executive material, and he's, well." She trailed off like the answer was obvious, like everyone at the table already got the joke. I set down my fork. Quietly. No dramatic clang. No speech. Just placed it down. Valerie sighed like I was the one being exhausting. "Jared," she said, "they're just joking around." I looked at her. "It doesn't feel like joking." Bella laughed. "Oh my God, he's so sensitive." "What? Going to cry because we hurt your feelings?" Melina added, raising an eyebrow like this was all just great fun. I stayed calm. Not because I wasn't boiling inside, but because I knew if I even raised my voice, I'd become that guy. "I'm not comfortable with this." And that's when Valerie said it. She looked me dead in the eye, no hesitation, and said, "Look, if you don't like my friend's rude jokes, you can just pay and leave." The table went quiet for a second. Even the server paused halfway to delivering the next round of drinks. Then Melina started giggling. She really said it. I nodded. "Thanks for the option," I said, standing up. I pulled out my wallet. Did quick math. My steak, the appetizer I barely touched, 2 drinks, and a generous tip because hey, the waiter had to put up with this circus too. "This covers mine," I said, setting the bills neatly on the table. Valerie rolled her eyes. "Jared, sit down. Don't be dramatic." I picked up my keys. "Enjoy your celebration dinner." The laughter started as I walked away. I heard Jocelyn behind me say, "He'll be back in 5 minutes. Watch." I didn't go back. Made it to my car and just sat there, wondering how I missed all the red flags, like the villain monologues and the dramatic exits. My phone started buzzing about 10 minutes later. First, a text from Valerie. Valerie, very funny. Come back and pay the bill. Right. Because the punchline to this comedy special is me returning like a good little ATM. Then came, Valerie. Jared, this isn't cute anymore. Wasn't trying to be cute. Just trying not to explode like an overworked fuse box. Followed by, Valerie, are you serious right now? Dead serious. So serious, I even did the mental math at the table and didn't round up like usual. I drove home. My phone turned into a slot machine of misery. Text after text after text lighting it up like I'd just won worst boyfriend of the year. Apparently, the moment of truth hit when the server brought the check and the fun little roast turned into a very real bill. Close to $400. Yep, that's what happens when you order the most expensive steak on the menu, 2 rounds of cocktails like you're on a bachelorette party, and dessert like it's your last meal. And me? I'd left $60 for my meal. And the server, who honestly deserved hazard pay. Valerie called 15 times during my drive home. I didn't answer. Not because I didn't hear it. Oh, I heard it. It was like a symphony of rage ringtones. I just didn't care. That, and I didn't want to accidentally say something like I told you so, and end up the villain in their version of the story. When I pulled into our apartment complex, I had 3 voicemails waiting for me. I didn't even have to listen to them to know the progression. I could guess the titles. 1. Mildly annoyed but still hopeful. 2. Wounded but weaponizing it. 3. Full apocalypse mode. I went inside, packed a duffel bag, clothes, toiletries, charger, socks that don't have holes, and dipped. Crashed at my buddy Martin place. Absolute lifesaver. Gave me the couch, a spare pillow, and didn't ask too many questions. Bro code in full effect. Didn't sleep much though. The text assault continued all night. It was like emotional whack-a-mole. Valerie, I can't believe you humiliated me like that. Yeah? Try sitting through 2 hours of passive-aggressive steak jokes while your girlfriend plays laugh track. Valerie, my friends think you're pathetic. Fantastic. Can't wait to not be invited to future girl gang bar crawls. Valerie, you left me with a $400 bill. This is so embarrassing. Imagine how embarrassing it must be to be seen dating someone who restores motorcycles and doesn't worship your brunch crew. Valerie, you need to Venmo me right now. Answer your phone. Yeah, that was going to be a no. Around 2 a.m., her friends joined in. Like some kind of Mean Girls Midnight Avengers. Melina, a full essay. What you did is financially abusive. You tricked us into thinking you were paying, then humiliated Valerie in front of everyone. Okay, hold on. Trick? I offered to treat because it was a celebration. Not because I wanted to fund a luxury beef festival for a table of women who think I'm beneath them. Jocelyn, you're a petty loser. Grow up, says the woman who just made fun of my job while drinking her third $18 cocktail on someone else's dime. Bella sent a Venmo request for $100. Note, for emotional damages. Emotional damages. I blocked all 4 of them and tried to get some sleep, though every time I closed my eyes I heard he's sweet, but come on, echoing in my brain like a cursed lullaby. This morning, just as I was contemplating breakfast and life choices, came the knocking. Aggressive. Familiar. It was Valerie. Martin, absolute legend, peeked out the window, looked at me, then opened the door just a crack. He's not here, he said smoothly. Martin, his truck is outside. She had me there. Rookie mistake on my part. Haven't seen him, Martin said without missing a beat. Maybe he parked here and Ubered somewhere. I nearly gave him a standing ovation. She didn't buy it. Stood there for 20 minutes, rotating between pounding on the door like it owed her money and calling my block number like sheer repetition might magically reconnect the line. Eventually, she left. Not quietly, of course. She had to deliver one final dramatic line like she was closing a scene in a soap opera. This is so childish, Jared. You can't just run away from your responsibilities. My responsibilities? I paid for my food. That was my responsibility. I didn't order the Wagyu steak, 3 margaritas, and a lava cake big enough to need its own area code. That was your party, Valerie. Martin, being the hero he is, handed me a mug of coffee and sat across from me like a seasoned therapist who moonlights as a roommate. We talked. Bro, he said between sips, remember when they joked about your mom's accent at your birthday dinner? Or when they said your sister's wedding was cute for a budget event? Oh yeah, real gems, those girls. He leaned back. Man, I've been telling you, Valerie's friends are toxic, and she just lets it happen. You deserve better. He was right. I'd spent the better part of 3 years turning red flags into festive bunting. Every time they insulted me or someone I loved, I laughed it off and told myself they didn't mean it. Turns out, they meant it. They just thought I wouldn't do anything about it. Around 10 a.m., my phone started lighting up with calls from unknown numbers. Spam? Telemarketers? Emotional ambush? Let's spin the wheel. I finally answered one. Jared, we need to talk. It was Valerie, calling from her work phone. Classy. Okay, talk. Not over the phone. Come home. I'm good. She let out that long, dramatic sigh she saves for when she wants to sound calm, but is actively planning a meltdown. You're being ridiculous. So you got your feelings hurt. My friends were just having fun. Ah yes, fun. The kind where someone gets roasted alive over prime rib. You embarrassed me in front of everyone and stuck me with the bill. I paid for my meal, Valerie. You told me I could pay and leave. I took your suggestion. I didn't think you'd actually leave. Who does that? Someone who's tired of being disrespected. She paused, probably shocked I had a backbone that didn't come with a receipt. Then, she switched gears like she was flipping a sad little emotional switch. Baby, please. I'm sorry. They went too far. Come home and we'll talk. Just, can you please send me money for last night? I had to put the whole thing on my credit card. Oh, now we're talking about credit card trauma. No, you invited us out to celebrate your promotion. Then your friends spent the entire dinner insulting me while you sat there laughing. I'm not paying for that experience. This is insane. You can't just... Click. I hung up. She started calling from other numbers like she thought she was James Bond on a mission called Operation Guilt Trip. I stopped answering. Not because I was angry, because I was at peace. Like post-breakup peace, but with better coffee. And then something unexpected happened. I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Bella's boyfriend, Trevor. Just wanted to say I heard what happened, and good for you, man. Turns out, Trevor wasn't just a silent observer in all this chaos. He came in with the plot twist. They've been talking trash about you for years, he texted. Bella showed me the group chats. Honestly, you did the right thing. Well, Trevor, welcome to the dark side. We have peace, dignity, and people who don't think restoring a motorcycle is a cry for help. Then came the real gem. They're all at Valerie's place right now plotting some kind of revenge. Just thought you should know. Ah yes, the classic revenge against the man who paid for his own dinner and left quietly strategy meeting. What are they avenging? Their right to unlimited steak and insults? Anyway, I decided to lay low at Martin for a few more days. He didn't mind. The man has a PlayStation, strong coffee, and no one screaming outside his front door. The lease on the apartment is in both our names, because of course it is, but I pay the majority of the rent, naturally. Another fun adult problem waiting in the wings. What really gets me, though, is that not once, has Valerie actually apologized for her friend's behavior. No, it's been 100% about the money and how embarrassed she was. I mean, yeah, it's totally humiliating when your boyfriend refuses to fund your mean girl's Wagyu and Whiskey Fest. Then came update 2, which honestly deserves its own Netflix docuseries. I went by the apartment while Valerie was at work to grab more of my stuff. Figured I'd be in and out like a heist movie. When I got there was a bright yellow piece of paper taped to the door. Because of course there was. Noise complaint. Date, Monday night. Description, loud voices, shouting, possible intoxication. Apparently their revenge strategy session got so intense, the neighbors had to call it in. Because what says we're in the right better than yelling at 1 a.m. about how to financially ruin your ex? That's going on our rental record now. Awesome. Inside, the place looked like the aftermath of a bachelorette party held in a recycling bin. Wine bottles everywhere. Food containers piled up. Someone left a half-eaten slice of cheesecake on my favorite dish towel. Monsters. But the real kicker? My PlayStation was missing. Just gone. I knew exactly what that meant. And sure enough, after a quick search, I found it stashed behind her dresses in the back of her closet like it was part of the witness protection program. Nice try, Valerie. Then came the full gut punch. She had gone through my toolbox. My sacred electrical toolbox. The one I've built up piece by piece over the years. And this woman, this marketing queen, had sold several of my specialty tools on Facebook Marketplace. I found the listings through a mutual friend who sent me screenshots. Klein Voltage Tester Kit, 300s, $75. Fluke Multimeter, $400. A bunch of other items labeled like new and must go fast. All priced to sell like she was running a yard sale for petty vengeance. And then, I noticed something even worse. She'd been in my project room. My 1978 Honda CB750. The motorcycle I've been lovingly restoring for months. The same bike I've poured time, money, and actual blood into. Listed on Craigslist. Mechanic special. Needs work. $2,000 OBO. Must go ASAP. $2,000? For that bike? That thing is worth at least $6,000 as is. And when it's finished, it's a 10 grand beauty. But sure, Valerie, go ahead and toss it on Craigslist like it's an old sofa with a wine stain. Oh, and tiny detail. It's not even hers to sell. So, I took a deep breath, resisted the urge to Hulk smash the wine bottles, and did the adult thing. I called the police non-emergency line, explained the situation. They said since we live together, it's complicated, but selling someone else's property without permission is still theft. Not complicated theft, just regular, good OL felony-level theft. They suggested I document everything and file a report, which, honestly, sounded like a sane adult thing to do. So there I was, in our shared apartment, taking photos like some half-hearted crime scene investigator who was also the victim. That's when I got the text from my landlord. Jared, need to talk to you about the lease. Valerie called saying you abandoned the apartment and she wants you off the lease. Also received noise complaint. Please call me. Perfect. Nothing like being accused of squatting in your own home and being noisy while doing it. I called Mr. Chong immediately. He's been my landlord for 3 years, and bless his soul, the man's more reasonable than most customer service reps. Jared? He answered, cautious. Hey, Mr. Chong. Yeah, about that message. Just to be clear, I didn't abandon anything. I've been gone 3 days. Domestic stuff. But I'm literally standing in the apartment right now, taking photos of my missing belongings. He sighed. She said you moved out and wouldn't be paying rent anymore. Made it sound like you'd been gone for weeks. Well, I guess gaslighting is now a utility we split. He chuckled, just a little. Look, between you and me, I'd rather keep you as a tenant. You've never been late on rent. No complaints until now. If you want to take over the lease solo, I'm open to that. What about her? She'd need to agree to be removed, or you'd both need to break the lease. But Jared, listen, there was a noise complaint. One more, and I have grounds for eviction. It's policy, of course. Because stealing tools is a gray area, but noise? Unforgivable. After I got off the phone, I documented everything. Tools missing, closet empty, half my bike gear gone. I removed my bike, what was left of it, and took it to Martin Garage, aka my unofficial vault. Also packed up my valuable tools. Well, the ones she hadn't already hawked for what I can only assume was a very overpriced dinner. I didn't touch the shared stuff. Nope. Left the IKEA couch we both pretended to love and the blender that never blended. I only took what was mine before the relationship, tools, my bike, my pride. Well, most of it. That evening, I was loading the last box into my truck when Valerie walked up. Her, what are you doing? Me. Moving my things to a safe location, since apparently, you're selling them without my permission. You know, the usual Tuesday night hobby. She rolled her eyes. I needed money to pay for that dinner you walked out on. I stared at her. So you stole my tools. She scoffed. It's not stealing. We live together. What's yours is mine. Oh good. Communist principles apply only when she's broke. That's not how anything works, Valerie. She stood there in her worn-out work clothes, arms crossed like she was about to unionize against common sense. Behind her, I saw Melina's car pulling up, as if this day hadn't already reached peak sitcom energy. Valerie scoffed. You're not seriously ending our relationship over one dinner. I tilted my head. One dinner. I let out a laugh that surprised even me. No, Valerie. It's not about one dinner. It's about 3 years of your friends treating me like a stray you forgot to return to the shelter. It's about you enabling them like it was your full-time job. It's about you telling me, to leave if I didn't like it. I mimicked her voice. Thanks for the option, remember? Because I do. Pretty clearly. She rolled her eyes, as Melina stepped out of the car in slow motion, probably thinking she was in a perfume ad. Oh good, Melina said, lips curling into a smirk. The loser's here. Jared. She barked like she was reading from a debt collection script. You owe Valerie $400. I didn't even stop lifting the last box into my truck. No, I don't. Yes, you do, she snapped. You invited everyone out, and then paid for my portion when I was told to leave, which I did. I looked at her like she just suggested the earth was flat and powered by vibes. Melina, I said slowly, you got up, insulted me, got told off, and then I paid for my own meal. I didn't sponsor your margarita marathon. She turned to Valerie with a scoff. Told you he was too proud. Blue-collar guys always have fragile egos. I actually laughed. Like a genuine belly laugh. My ego's fine, I said, dusting my hands. My boundaries, however, are now under strict renovation. I slammed the truck bed shut. The satisfying thunk felt like punctuation on a very stupid chapter. Valerie rushed up and grabbed my arm like we were in a drama, and she was about to deliver a monologue. Jared, please, let's talk about this. We are talking, I said calmly. I'm telling you, I'm done. This is the talk. This is the whole TED Talk, Valerie. She blinked, stunned. I continued, climbing into the truck. I'll deal with the lease this week. I suggest you find a roommate. Maybe one of your friends. You know, the ones who are so successful and ambitious and still somehow have time to bully your boyfriend over calamari. You're really throwing away 3 years? She asked, like she just noticed the time on a ticking bomb. No, I said, shifting into gear. You did that. I'm just finally refusing to subsidize it. I drove off while both of them stood there looking like a deleted scene from a failed CW pilot. Later that night, surprise, surprise, she tried calling. From unknown numbers. Like I'd forget what desperation smells like. Finally, a voicemail came through. You're right, she said, like it physically hurt her to admit it. Okay, my friends were out of line. But you didn't have to be so cruel about it. Please come home. We can work this out. I love you. Oh, touching. Almost enough to make me vomit. Anyway, after I moved my stuff out, I filed a police report for the stolen tools. Attached screenshots of her Facebook Marketplace posts. Yes, she was literally selling my stuff online like she was running a bootleg Home Depot, and included my receipts. It was pretty straightforward, like, paint by numbers, kinda straightforward. The officer took one look at my documentation and said, we'll be following up with her. That was it. No fanfare. No dramatic law and order sting. Just quiet competence and a clipboard. I appreciated it. After that, I met with Mr. Chong about the lease situation. Oh, Valerie? She refused to be removed? Of course. Thought she had leverage. Cute, right? Like she was holding a pair of threes at a poker table, bluffing like she had a royal flush. She didn't realize I'd been documenting everything. Every 2 a.m. screech fest. Every mystery Amazon package with suspicious resale labels. Every time her friend Tanya came over wearing heels loud enough to summon the dead. See, here's the kicker. Turns out selling stolen goods online? Yeah, that leaves a trail. It's almost like the internet has receipts or something. And when you get 3 noise complaints in 2 weeks. Ding ding ding. We have a lease violation, folks. I mean, she kept inviting her emotional support squad over like she was running a group therapy rave. And she was dumb enough to harass Martin. Martin, the nicest guy in the building. Asking him where I was like I was in witness protection. Newsflash, I live here. Just not within earshot of your drama, Valerie. Anyway, Mr. Chong had options. He served her with a cure or quit notice. Basically, fix your lease violations or you're out in 3 days. You've never seen someone suddenly discover respect for legal documents that fast. She went from defiant to meek, like someone flipped a switch. Next thing I know, she's calling Mr. Chong like, actually, I would like to be removed from the lease, please and thank you. Oh, now you're humble? And then, chef's kiss. Here comes Trevor. Remember him? Bella's boyfriend? Big dude, decent guy, always nodding politely like he didn't realize he was dating chaos in yoga pants. Well, turns out he'd had enough. He reached out to me. Yes, me, the villain of Valerie's group chat, and was like, hey man, just so you know, I'm out. Turns out Bella had been calling him her practice boyfriend. To her friends. I said, bro, I don't know whether to hug you or hand you a helmet. He dumped her and moved out that week. And wouldn't you know it, Bella couldn't pay her rent without Trevor's half. So she tries to move in with Valerie. But remember that handy little cure or quit notice. Yeah, having unauthorized occupants would violate it. So unless Valerie wanted an express trip to Evictionville, she couldn't take Bella in. Then comes Jocelyn. Her situation? Glorious implosion. Her boyfriend saw the text she sent me, demanding money like she was billing a client. Dude connected the dots. If she's this entitled with Jared, what's she like with me? Spoiler alert, not great. Now they're on a break, which I assume is code for he's packing while she's crying into a Starbucks napkin. And finally, Melina. Melina, our fearless ringleader. The Regina George of discount apartments. She didn't get canned because of this whole drama fest. No, she got herself fired because she couldn't stop trash-talking people on social media during work hours, including coworkers. Like, from her company account. HR said, we're done. And poof, there goes her job. Without that sweet paycheck, she couldn't keep up with her lifestyle of boutique coffee, passive-aggressive tweets, and whatever the hell Moon Ritual Wine Night is. Karma? She didn't knock. She swan dove through the window. No hesitation, no subtlety, just a full Olympic-level pike into the middle of their chaotic little apartment soap opera. I like to imagine she was wearing sunglasses and holding a cocktail when she landed. Meanwhile, I found a great one-bedroom apartment closer to work. It's got actual sunlight, no weird smells, and I haven't heard a single passive-aggressive sigh through the walls. Rent's cheaper, too. Go figure. Turns out peace of mind doesn't cost extra. I've been focusing on my bike restoration. Should have it done by spring. It's the most stable relationship I've had in years. The carburetor respects me more than Valerie ever did. Plus, I picked up some side electrical work. Pays well. Shocks less than dating Valerie. Mostly. Then yesterday, I got one last text from her. Real dramatic stuff. Apparently, she's moving back in with her parents. Bold move for someone who swore she was too mature for curfews and family dinners. Her friend group? Imploded. Like full Hunger Games mode. Money got tight, and boom, they turned on each other like raccoons in a dumpster. Bella blamed Valerie for dating down, which, I assume, is code for dating a man with a job and self-respect. Jocelyn said Melina was a bad influence. Melina told them all to go choke on their overpriced matcha lattes. Honestly, watching them cannibalize each other from afar was the most peace I've felt in a long time. Valerie's text said, and I quote, "I should have stood up for you. I'm sorry. Is there any chance we could try again?" Right. Because nothing says romantic rekindling like an apology wrapped in regret-flavored desperation. I didn't respond. There's nothing to say that doesn't involve the words LOL or new phone. Who dis? Martin helped me move into my new place last weekend. Solid dude. As we were hauling boxes up the stairs, because of course the elevator was broken, he looked at me, all sweaty and out of breath, and goes, "Bro, you didn't just dodge a bullet. You dodged a whole firing squad." He's right. And honestly, the firing squad would have had better manners. Oh, and here's the cherry on top. I ran into Trevor at a sports bar last week. Yeah, that Trevor. We grabbed a beer, swapped ex-horror stories. Turns out, we have a lot in common. Both blue-collar guys. Both dated women who treated us like their backup plan and their ATM rolled into one. We're hanging out again this weekend. Might check out a motorcycle show. Two allegedly low-value dudes appreciating chrome and carbs. Shocking, I know. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't keying a car or airing dirty laundry. Sometimes it's just living well. Saying no thanks to being anyone's doormat, punching bag, or emotional support wallet. They wanted me to pay. Well, they're all paying now. Just not in the way they expected. My mom called me yesterday. Said I sounded happier than I have in years. She's right. I am. Funny how much lighter you feel when you stop carrying people who don't respect you. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.